Hey, what's going on, Poké fans? Welcome back to Pet to the Peak YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be looking at one very interesting deck list. It is a Cinderace, a single strike Cinderace featuring single strike Houndoom and also single strike Entei. What is so special about this deck, and what's the deck strategy? That's the most important question. Well, if you followed my channel for a couple past years, you know that you're probably familiar with the fact that I always played rogue decks, and I was also always searching for rogue strategies and rogue deck ideas. When I saw Cinderace, I was quite impressed with the powerful ability that he has. So every time our opponent took a prize card, Cinderace attack is increased for 30 more damage. So the Pokemon attacks. This Pokemon attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent, active Pokemon for each prize card your opponent has taken. So theoretically speaking, with a Fireball shot we can hit for 150, but if our opponent took 4 prize cards, we can increase the damage for 120, which means that we can hit suddenly for 270 damage. Being able to hit for 270 is nothing too special, but if you compare that with, if you pump it up with the single strike energies, then all suddenly you can go for 310, maybe 330, and then you're capable to one-hit knockout even VMAX Pokemons with just a single shot, which is mind-blowing thing. On the other side of the field, if our benched Pokemons has a lot of damage counters, which in theory they can have, especially those Houndooms can provide extra damage support with the single strike energy. Then Entei from nowhere can use the Angry Fang and hit for 10 times the 10 times. This attack does 10 damage for each damage counter on all of our bench and single strike Pokemon. So theoretically speaking, that's the deck strategy. It works pretty decent. I'm quite surprised with it, and I also like the deck idea by itself. We should have really easy matchup against Zacian and Leafeon decks, as long as they don't have Shield Energy or some sort of, let's say, Weakness Policy, which is at this moment not in the format. We can have also very good and decent matchup against Rapid Strike Urshifu. We can even have very good matchup against Single Strike Urshifu, depends. As long as we cannot be one-hit knocked out from nowhere, we can just put the Entei on the bench and surprise our opponent with the Angry Fang and take multiple prize cards instead of multiple knockouts. Unfortunately, we cannot take multiple Pokemon knockouts in just a single turn, but we can take multiple prize cards for sure. So as you can see, deck list plays 16 Pokemon, 32 training cards, 12 energy. Starting with the Crobat for the darkest set, just in case if you brick, we can always Quick Ball for him if we have Quick Ball, so we can draw some resources. Because I'm not playing any stadium card, if our opponent plays Pet to the Peak, Crobat ability is turned off. We cannot use it, it's a dead card in this deck. It is how it is. 2 copies of Houndour and Houndoom, 2 copies of Entei, and 4/1/4 line of the Cinderace lineup. Then I'm playing 4 copies of Evolution Incense, 4 copies of Level Ball, and 4 copies of Quick Ball. So I can pretty much search my deck quickly set up, being in a position to also have Capture Energy. Theoretically speaking, turn 1 we can set up very fast. Turn 2 we can almost always have that Cinderace if we are, I shouldn't say lucky enough, but if we have at least a draw supporter for a turn and maybe a quick ball, level ball, and capture energy or something of that in the combination. Ordinary Rod is here as well, ×1. Then I'm playing 2 copies of Switch as well as 2 copies of Urn of Vitality. Additionally, deck plays 4 copies of Research, 3 copies of Marnie for the draw support, 2 copies of Boss's Orders, as well as 2 copies of Raihan, which is a very good card. Raihan is a very good card because it helps stage 2 decks to be playable. That's just my personal opinion. Then I'm playing 4 copies of Fire Energy cards, 6 copies of Fire Energy Basic, 4 copies of Single Strike Energy, and 2 copies of Capture Energy cards. So what we can tweak maybe a little bit more so it can be a little bit better. In theory, we can remove maybe 2 Fire Energies, where we can then add 4th Marnie and maybe 3rd Switch. We can maybe even add We can maybe even remove 2 fire energies, then we can maybe add 2 Tower of Darkness, so we can have that Stadium card that can help us to discard some single strike cards from our hand in order to draw 2 extra cards, which can be also good. We can maybe add Pulpad, another switch. There is a lot of room for improvements, but then again, there's not too many cards that can be removed in order to add even more cards, because I tried to build the most possible consistent deck list for this build. If you're looking for maybe to buy or sell your Pokemon cards, you can check ccgcastle.com. Link is provided in my video description. Just in case if you are looking for maybe sealed products or single cards, maybe to pre-order Fusion Strike, you should definitely check them out. Prices are rock bottom. I always purchase from CCG Castle. You should check that in the video description. Alright, so let's do some game tests so you can see how this deck works in action. So see you in the game. I think I can definitely say that I'm happy with your hand. There's no question about that. The top deck is also not that bad, but what can I do with the top deck? Pretty much nothing. I will end up discarding it anyways and search the deck for the Crobat. Let's go with the energy attachment Crobat for 4, and let's see if we can get something else. Unfortunately, we cannot. Okay, it's not that bad for third one, I should definitely say that. It could be definitely worse, but it could be also better. Another energy attached to Sobble. There is Evolution Incense, which will eventually become Drizzile. And Shady Dealings can help my opponent to search the deck for any trainer cards he wants. So obviously it can be Quick Ball, it can be Research, whatever he needs. It ends up he picks Quick Ball. There is a Captures bucket. So with the bucket you can discard some energies in your discard pile, so you can get the Melanie and use the effect of the Melanie. So Quick Ball for Inteleon. Ooh, there is a boss's order, so I'm gonna be knocking out. That's interesting. Okay. With that being said, I only need Cinderace, and I can respond with the knockout back. Then he'll probably respond with a knockout, maybe not, we shall see. Raihan to power up Cinderace, and I need to get myself a supporter card, but I have a good chance to pull Marnie or maybe not. Yeah, I will definitely go for the Marnie. Marnie or Research, it's a really tough decision, but I'm gonna get the Marnie. I really don't want to discard those rare candies. I know that I'm gonna need them anyways, or maybe I should go with the Research instead. Let's go with the Research actually. 200, just like that. There we go, and there's the... Okay, it ended up pretty well for me. The problem is I cannot attack with my Cinderace next turn. I'm not playing a single switch in the deck, which is a mind-blowing thing, I know it is. Because I'm expecting every single turn that I'm gonna be knocked out anyways, and that's the reason why. So he can snipe shot me, he can... there's the Rugged Helmet and the Level Ball. So every time I attack Inteleon, even if he's knocked out... Oh, where it is. There it is. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is the is damaged by opponent attack, put an energy attached to opponent active Pokemon in their hand. So let's go with the Air Balloon and and with 1 research for 7. So I'm hoping to attack maybe with the Entei somehow. And I will be able to hit with the Entei this turn. So that's pretty much the strategy of the deck. It's only 100, I know, but it's a decent amount of damage, that's for sure. Okay, so that single strike energy was returned back to my hand, and there's a Drizzile. So the only thing my opponent really needs is a VMAX plus energy, and then he can knock the Entei, put 6 damage counters and the Cinderace on the bench. Still, it's not going to be enough for the knockout. Meanwhile, I will hit for 180, 230 with energy from my hand for 250, and then eventually so once opponent starts taking prize cards, Cinderace attack will just become more and more powerful, and it will hit for more and more damage. NFA is also a pretty cool card with the Ocean Surge. Two prize cards instead. Okay. Which means that I can hit for a lot more damage then. That's nice. Okay. So what we have here, boss's orders. I'm thinking about just powering up my Houndoom pretty much. Throwing that research for 7 to level ball. Okay, that's good. Level ball, then I can go for a quick ball and set another Entei in play. I can use my single strike roar, Entei, and pretty much finish my opponent with that. Cinderace, Fireball for 260 with only 2 energy cards. That's how powerful this deck really is. So that Inteleon is knocked out. I'm moving down to 2 prize cards. My opponent is down to 3. But I think I'm in a much better position than he is. And there is also boss's order for me. Which means that with that boss's order I can catch Inteleon that he puts on the bench. I can swing him heavily. So Ocean Surge. The only downside of this Cinderace is that it needs a switch effect, so it can attack next turn again. It cannot unfortunately attack twice in a row. So it's pretty much the same as the Zacian. It would be too strong in my opinion if there wouldn't be that effect on the Fireball shot. But anyways, what I'm going to do next turn, I'm going to retreat, add a little bit more of the resources down to my Entei, and then I will hit with my Entei. I could even hit Tackle for like how many? 120, 40, 60 theoretically. Or maybe not, because boss's orders goes on the bottom of my deck. Rare Candy Research. Interesting. I'm thinking about... So he basically played Marnie right now, and I'm thinking what should be my next step. It's safe to say that without boss's orders, he won't be able to knock my Cinderace anyways, so... I think that playing Marnie maybe is not a bad idea at all, but then on the other hand, if I play Research... yeah, so he is definitely preparing the boss's orders for the next turn, so... I think I'm not gonna gamble here at this moment. However, I will... Oh, okay. That's the GG, so Snipe Shot. Yeah, that's a game. That's a game. That's a game. It should be a game. let's do the both. Houndoom Entei and 1 energy only. And we can finish him with the Angry Fang for 200 and exactly 200 damage. So, a kind of interesting deck idea where you can trade 1 prize for theoretically 2, maybe even 3 prize cards, especially in the late game when opponent takes more and more prize cards, because the more and more prize cards our opponent takes, this deck became more and more stronger. So it's pretty much all around the crisis power of the Cinderace. The Pokémon attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokémon for each prize card your opponent has taken. Fireball Shot hits for 150, but if our opponent takes 4 prize cards, it's 270. And let's say with 2 strong energies, we can increase the damage up to 310, maybe 330. So we can basically one-hit out or whatever he wants with the Cinderace Crisis, Power, Ability, and Fireball Shot. The biggest concern about the deck is obviously the fact that you cannot play so many switch cards. I built the deck list the best as I could, so it can be the best possible, consistent. And then again, there are some cards that might be tweaked, like a Capture Energy, maybe like Fire Energy for some switch options and stuff like that, but I would really like to have better setup instead of just switch, because in some situations switch will be just useless. Many times the Cinderace will be a useless card, but then again, maybe just removing 2 air balloons and playing purely 2 switch cards will be better anyways, because if we hit and if we are not knocked out, then we can play switch, attach energy, let's say, to Scorbunny, pay the retreat cost, promote Cinderace again in the front and hit with another Fireball Shot. Then that can works much better. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos. Thanks for your time. We'll see you next time. So till then, have a nice day and goodbye.